Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. Calculation of the settlement amount, a forward rate agreement. The amount to be exchanged on settlement date, the settlement amount, is calculated as described below. For the sake of clarity, the calculation has been split into two parts, but normally it is one single calculation. Step 1, calculation of the interest differential. The interest differential is the result of the comparison between the forward rate agreement rate and the settlement rate. It is calculated as follows. If interest differential is equal to the settlement rate minus the contract rate times days in contract period divided by 360 times the notional amount. 2. As stated above, the settlement amount is paid upfront at the start of the contract period, whereas interbank rates like SOFR or Euribor are for operations with interest payments in arrears at the end of the loan period. To account for this, the interest differential needs to be discounted using the settlement rate as a discount rate. The settlement amount is thus calculated as the present value of the interest differential. Settlement amount equals interest differential divided by 1 plus settlement rate times days in contract period divided by 360. If the settlement rate is higher than the contract rate, then it is the FRA seller who has to pay the settlement amount to the buyer. If the contract rate is higher than the settlement rate, then it is the FRA buyer who has to pay the settlement amount to the seller. If the contract rate and the settlement rate are equal, then no payment is exchanged. The complete formula used to calculate the settlement amount is the following. Settlement equals reference minus reference FRA times M times N divided by B divided by 1 plus R of reference plus N of B. R reference is the reference interest fixing rate. R FRA is the FRA rate or contract rate. M is the notional value. N is the number of days in the contract period. And B is the day count base, 360 or 365. To summarize, if settlement rate is greater than the contract rate, the FRA buyer receives the settlement amount. If contract rate is greater than the settlement rate, the FRA seller receives the settlement amount. If settlement rate is equal to contract rate, no settlement amount is paid. Think through this. Why would the settlement rate be greater than the contract rate? And why is it paid to the buyer? That's the borrower, who is long price, short rate. And then think the contract rate greater than the settlement rate, the seller is short interest, long price. It'd be backwards. Think through that. Why would the buyer have to pay the seller? And why would the seller have to pay the buyer? Things to ponder. Brad Williams, Frugal Finance. More to come.